The teacher burst into class and screamed, "Who left their phone in the bathroom?" Mrs. Kowalski slammed the door so hard the periodic table poster fell off the wall behind her. 28 students froze mid-conversation. Then she screamed it again. "Who left their phone in the bathroom?" 4 hands went up slowly. Mine was one of them. Huge mistake. Mrs. Kowalski pointed directly at us with her free hand. "You 4, get up. Come here now." I looked at my best friend Destiny sitting next to me. She mouthed, "What the hell?" but I had no answer. I stood up with the others. Jamal from the back row, Alexis who sat by the window, and Sophie from the front. We walked toward Mrs. Kowalski like we were walking to our own funerals. 28 pairs of eyes watched us move. Nobody made a sound. Mrs. Kowalski's hand was shaking as she held whatever she was gripping. We reached the front and stopped. Mrs. Kowalski was breathing hard through her nose. Her nostrils flared with each breath. She looked at each of us individually, spending several seconds on each face. When her eyes met mine, I felt my stomach drop. There was something wrong in her expression. This wasn't about a forgotten phone. This was something else. Something worse. She finally held up what was in her hand. A phone in a clear case with a purple pop socket? I didn't recognize it. None of us did based on the confused looks we were exchanging. "That's not my phone," Alexis said. Her voice was small and uncertain. Mrs. Kowalski's jaw clenched so hard I could see the muscle jumping in her cheek. "One of you left this phone in the girls' bathroom on the 2nd floor. The screen was unlocked. Open to a group chat. A group chat with very specific content about this school. About me specifically." She was shaking harder now. Her voice was getting louder with each word. "I want to know right now which one of you owns this phone." I looked at Jamal. He shook his head slightly. Sophie was staring at the phone like it might explode. Alexis had tears forming in her eyes already. I had no idea what was happening. My phone was in my backpack. Mrs. Kowalski set the phone down on her desk with a sharp click. The screen was still lit up. I could see text messages but couldn't read them from where I stood. She crossed her arms and stared at us. "I'm going to ask one more time. Whose phone is this?" The silence stretched out painfully. I could hear someone coughing in the back of the room. Someone else's pencil tapping nervously. Alexis spoke up again, her voice cracking. "Mrs. K, I swear that's not mine. My phone is black with a Batman case. You can check my bag." Mrs. Kowalski didn't look at her. She kept her eyes fixed on all 4 of us collectively. Principal Davis appeared in the doorway. I hadn't heard him coming. Mrs. Kowalski must have called him before bursting into our classroom. He looked uncomfortable, shifting his weight from one foot to the other. His tie was slightly crooked. He cleared his throat. "These 4?" Mrs. Kowalski nodded sharply. "These 4 all have phones. One of them left this in the bathroom with some very disturbing content on it." Principal Davis stepped into the room and closed the door behind him. The click of the latch sounded final, like a cell door closing. Everyone in the class remained frozen and silent. Principal Davis walked to Mrs. Kowalski's desk and looked at the phone. His expression changed as he read whatever was on the screen. His eyebrows went up first, then his mouth pressed into a thin line, then his face went pale. He looked up at the 4 of us. "This is serious. Very serious." He picked up the phone carefully, holding it by the edges like it was evidence at a crime scene. "We need to take you 4 to my office. Bring your bags. Leave everything else. Mrs. Kowalski will supervise the rest of the class." My hands were shaking as I went back to my desk to grab my backpack. Destiny grabbed my wrist as I passed. She whispered, "What's happening?" but I just shook my head. The 4 of us followed Principal Davis into the hallway. The door closed behind us, and we could hear Mrs. Kowalski addressing the remaining students. Her voice was muffled, but still angry. Principal Davis walked fast. We had to almost jog to keep up. He didn't look back, just kept walking with that phone held carefully in his hand. We passed empty classrooms with teachers still teaching. Normal Friday afternoon lessons happening while we were being marched to the office for something we didn't do. We turned down the main hallway toward the administrative wing. I could see Officer Barnes standing outside the principal's office, our school resource officer. This was getting worse by the second. Officer Barnes straightened up when he saw us approaching. His hand instinctively went to his belt where his radio was clipped. Principal Davis nodded at him. "These are the 4. Officer Barnes opened the door to the main office and held it. We filed in past him. The secretary, Mrs. Lynn, looked up from her computer and her friendly smile disappeared when she saw our faces. Principal Davis led us past her desk into the conference room, the one they used for serious meetings, parent conferences about failing grades, disciplinary hearings. The room had a long table with 8 chairs, a white board on one wall, a small window that looked out at the parking lot. Principal Davis gestured for us to sit on one side of the table. We sat. Officer Barnes came in and closed the door. He stood near it with his arms crossed. Principal Davis sat down across from us and placed the phone on the table between us. The screen had gone dark now. He folded his hands and looked at each of us in turn. "I need one of you to be honest right now." And that's when things took a turn I never expected. Full story is linked below or on my channel.